live. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was doing a team call this morning. It's Wednesday. So we were at the end of our call. So we've been on from 6, this was like right around 7 o'clock. And one of our girls that was watching, she had me on speakerphone. And I guess she's already at work. She got to work early to do the call. And one of her like coworkers walked in and is like, what is she doing? And so she's listening to her, and the guy pops on to say hi. And he says, you were talking way too fast this morning for me to understand. And I politely told him, I'm talking slow right now. Like, this is me simmering down. So welcome to Simmer Down, Caley. You guys, if you have not watched me before, I am always at about 100 miles per hour, but that's me trying to be slower than normal. And if I try to just talk slow, I forget what I'm even gonna say. That's what it was. Good morning, Casey. Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Miss Natalie. How have you been? Good morning, Annie, Kelly, Brittany, Lauren, all of my friends who are jumping on. Thank you for being here. We start off our Good Morning Sunshine. How do we start off a Good Morning Sunshine, you guys? By saying Good Morning Sunshine and hashtag GMS. Maybe have a little bit of my spunk, my spaz, my fast talk, whatever that is, just to see what that feels like. Waking up with that energy in the morning, right? Next step is our gratitude. What are you grateful for in this moment? I am grateful for the little thing that washes your car windows at the gas station. My car is horrifically dirty because I live on a dirt road. Like, it's a casualty when it's snowy and muddy like this, you guys. It just is. We went by 7-Eleven today, and my husband's so cute. He's out there, and I'm like, what is he doing? And I'm just like sitting there waiting for him. I'm like, I got Good Morning Sunshine, and he's out there like cleaning the car windows. Yes. So are you guys grateful for that? Like, isn't that so much easier to see when your window's clean? It is. So grateful for that. What's something you're grateful for? Remember, it's all of those things around you, right? I'm so grateful for your energy. Oh my goodness. I'm glad someone is. Grateful for positive affirmations like we did yesterday, right? Love, love, love it. Love, love you. Good morning, Jessica, Melissa. And then, share something. It's Wednesday, so we talk about vision on Wednesday. You guys, this morning I woke up, my alarm was going off at 5:30. I probably woke up at 5. I didn't even look at my clock. I just rolled over and I was like, I feel good. I don't know what time it is, but I'm gonna start doing my visualization. And I laid there and I just started to see what I'm creating for myself in my world and the things that I'm pulling in and what my life is going to look like and how I'm gonna continue to grow and help people. And it was phenomenal, you guys, just to have that space, that time, that peacefulness to kickstart my miracle morning. Okay, so what's something you're doing for your visualization? And remember, if you don't practice every aspect of the miracle morning every day, I encourage you to daydream a little bit today. Guys, yesterday I had 5 tips for finding a mentor. You guys remember that? It was yesterday. If you don't remember, go back to yesterday. You have to open your coffee in order to drink it. I'm grateful for coffee lids that close because then it doesn't spill, you guys. Look at Jessica's grateful for coffee too. This right here. Okay, so I gave you 5 tips and I was like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to talk to the crew about how to make a baby. Like, and I'm going to take notes, and this is going to be a serious talk. Good morning, Carrie. I'm probably not the most qualified. I'll tell you a story in a few minutes because it'll just be funny, but I'm really authentic with you guys, right? Like, do you guys ever notice that? It's like, oh, here's Cal being herself. If you haven't watched me very much and you think I'm faking it, if you think I'm faking the energy or the happiness or the craziness, or at times, if you catch the right ones, the tears, the sharing of fears and transformation, I just give you what I am. That's what I do, you guys. And there's one area where I really haven't like shared very much. And you know, I don't know. Like, I think that there's a few different motives about it, but I haven't talked about baby making. Maybe it's because that's not an appropriate live subject, Cal. I think it is. I think all of it's good subjects, guys. So let me get authentic with you guys about me and baby making. This is gonna be such a good subject. You guys ready? Okay, so I'm 40 years old. High five. Anybody else out there 40? Like, is anybody else freaking rocking their 40s? I am 40, but I'm still 20. Like, I'm pretty sure I feel like I'm still 20, but I'm 40 years old. And a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, my husband and I made a surprise baby. We made a surprise baby. And it came from this space of our marriage coming together. And like, I mean, it was an unbelievable shift in our life. And we made little baby Q. I believe most of you guys have seen maybe like baby Q before, right? It was a surprise. It was oh my God, we have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old and we just made a baby. And immediately for me, it was a smile and wow, God lets us do all of it twice. Like, he gave us round 1 of life and he's given us round 2 of life. Like, I was jacked up. So almost immediately, you guys, almost immediately after that, I was like, all right, so you got to do the math, right? We do the 10-year exercise here all the time. By the way, this is going to have application for everybody, not if you don't have to be like 40 and making a baby, like for this to apply. Okay. But so I do the math and I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to have the baby. I didn't know if I was going to be 40 or 39. I was still 39. No, I was 40. Did I turn 40? I was 40. But no, I wasn't. I was 39. You guys get it together. I was 39. Okay. And now I'm going to have a baby 39, 49, 59, 58, 57. 57, we're still going to have babies at home. Like this is what's happening. So right away, I'm like, well, you know what? I feel like the little bugger's going to need a buddy. And would anybody else be like this? I know some of you guys have pairs of kids, right? You act like you're 11, Christine, you and me both, right? So I'm like, this little bugger's going to need a buddy. My bugger's going to need a buddy. He's going to need a buddy. So we like almost immediately start having conversations of, do we have more now that this door has been open? Yeah. And it's entertaining because when we talk to people, I mean, like a lot of people, you guys, in fact, it was just like last week sometime, somebody was like, oh yeah, they came over and they're like, okay, so when's baby number 2 coming? You know, they really should have a friend and a partner. And he's totally bullshitting us. He's like, you guys are batshit crazy if you have another baby. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. So people like, where are you at in this whole another baby situation? So we decide, yes, we're going to go for baby number 2. And by the way, I mean like mostly me, but John's like married to me. So he's on board-ish. Whatever, it's fine. After we had Quincy, 6 days after we had him, we were having this moment and we were in, his room and we were rocking him and he's like just expressing his love for Quincy. And he's like, I thought that you were crazy before about wanting to have 2. But I'm really surprised because when you would talk about it before, I was like, there's no way. And now I'm like, I'm get it. I'm on board. Like I want for more too. So that was our moment where we're like, yes, we're both on board. Right. So some of you have watched like the whole journey and I stopped breastfeeding at like 7 or 8 months because I wanted to get my system regular. And actually this is a good place to like start talking about the process, you guys. Okay. So this is me being authentic with y'all. Okay. All right. Step number 1, tip number 1 to having a baby. P.S. This is going to apply to goals in your life, all sorts of goals. Good morning, Erica. Keith, how are you doing? Natalie. Okay. So step number 1 is you got to educate yourself. Okay, educate yourself is how do you even make a baby? Okay, now let's just say, okay, if you're not trying to make a baby, you could apply this to other things in your life. You have a goal, you're going from here, you're going to there, you want to make something happen. One of the first steps is educate yourself. How does this all go down? Like what happens? What do I need to know? What's the process like in order to make a baby, right? And I have not been educated about that before because I've never had to try to cross and try to figure things out. But I knew one thing was for sure, as I educated myself. Well, actually, we'll jump into that in a second. Okay. So first you gotta educate yourself. So now I'm learning how it happens. Okay. So you gotta have a partner or a doctor that's gonna perform it. I mean, there's more ways than one right now. I'm gonna talk about the traditional penis to vagina way. Inappropriate? Probably. Deal with it. Send me a message that you didn't like that. That's fine. So you have your traditional way, right? So you're going to need male parts and you're going to need female parts and you're going to need working parts. So you got to have your supplies. That's number 2. You're going to gather your materials. Okay. Gather your materials. And yeah, guess John will be back, you guys. When he gets back, I'm like, John, what do you think of the situation? And he's going to freaking die. So, because it gets way more in detail in this. That's perfect. So you're going to need it. So number 1, you got to educate yourself. What's the process look like? What do you need? Oh, okay. I need a penis. I need a vagina. I need a working uterus. I need to have sperm that actually swims. I need to have a fertile area. I need to make the things happen. Right? Okay. So here's the different items. People are they're jumping on what the hell is this woman talking about? Don't worry, you guys. We're grown-ups, most of us. Okay. Educate yourself on how the process works. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, gather your materials. What does that mean? Okay. Gather your male with the correct sperm, okay? And I know it's not exactly how it works. We talked about that. Then you got to get your working uterus. You got to get your parts right. So here's me gathering my materials. I was like, I keep making milk in the booby area, and that inhibits my system because for me, my system's sensitive. I know I'm being super authentic here. My system's sensitive, so I can't make a baby when I'm doing this. So I stop doing this so I can start to get this right. This is way too much information. God, I'm an idiot. I cannot believe I do live videos about this stuff, you guys. I gotta take a break. Okay, so I need to gather my materials, so I need to get me working again. So we started trying after Quincy was 7 months. So that was in like August or so. I mean, not that we were not trying before, but we knew things weren't going to work out like that. But we still would be like, is it working? I'm taking a pregnancy test like literally every other week. I'm like, ooh, what's happening? Like, maybe I'm pregnant. Nope, you're not. Maybe I'm pregnant. Nope. Maybe I'm, nope. Okay. So finally, you're gathering your things. So I realized that based upon like all of this, I need to get my materials correct. John's materials correct, up and running, right? Now I need to get my materials up and running. So I go to the doctor because sometimes you need a coach. You guys, are you applying this to your life? Sometimes you need a coach, you need a mentor. You need somebody to tell you what's going on, how can you make some changes? So I go to the doctor and he's like, okay, you're not doing this because you don't have the right your hormones. So we're gonna get you on progesterone and that's gonna do this. And then once we do that, we'll see what happens. Like that's step one. So mentorship. So he gets me and he's like, we're on the steps. So now I'm gonna get my system regular. I am gathering my materials. Number one, you educated. Number two, you gathered materials, right? I'm gonna step another tip in there. I got a coach, I got a mentor, I got somebody who's helping me out with the situation now, right? Okay, number three, I was doing this in the car. Set your time higher pachachis. Can you guys do that? Okay, I think what I was saying here is that you need to get your stuff, like you got to set your personal timeline and your actions now. So now you know the process, you've got everything ready. Apply this to something in your life, right? You know the process, you've got everything ready, you've got a coach who's going to help guide you through it a little bit. So that was like our bonus tip 2.5, right? And now you got to set the timeline. What does this look like for me? Okay, doc, so what does this like mentor? What does this look like for me? All right, so here's where you're at. Now you're going to, whatever, progesterone's going to give you a period, high five, you're a woman again. And then you're going to go through, and then about this day, you should be ovulating. And then that's where you could like have a baby. And how does that work? It's 5 days before, especially the day before, the day of, the day after. That's your timeline. Okay, so I'm learning the timeline, right? And by the way, I have another coach. I have some like online coaches. Like I got like a graphs and charts that's teaching me things. Okay, so now I'm educating myself. I know my timeline. All right, so next step, you guys, this is the good one. This is the one that everybody wants to do. You want to skip the other steps, but you want to do this one? Taking action. That's right. Oh God, the action. Some of us don't want to take action. It takes work, you guys. Oh my God, does it take work? You're like, but I'm tired, but I don't want to, but there's not time, but there's kids, there's stuff, there's life, there's work. You guys, you can't make a baby if you don't have sex. That's action step. That's tip number 4 or 3, depending on how you guys are counting. These tips are so good. You guys are going to put these little morsels in your pocket and you're going to love on them. You're like, yes, these tips are so great. Yeah, Miriam, you're like, what? Yeah, you're learning how to make a baby. Like, literally, like that's what we're looking at. Okay, so that's number 4 or 3, whatever. No, number 4 is taking action. You got to take action to make something happen, you guys. You have to take action, right? So we took action. Oh my God, did we take action? It's like we took action and the next day we took action. And we've been married for 16 years, so we don't normally take action every day because it's just a lot of work. You guys, you bunnies out there, like rabbits, like that's awesome. High five to you. Okay, too much information, I don't care. Like, right? So now we're taking action. We're taking action. And I'm going according to what I think, to my plan, my timeline, and then I'm off of my timeline. You guys, I screw up the timeline. I'm like trying to do tests. I'm trying to do guidance. And I just screw it up a little bit. You guys, sometimes when you're going through something and you take action, you're trying to make something happen, you did your education, you gathered your materials, you got your coach, you started to go after it, you screw stuff up. You're like, actually, that's not working out for me. That's not going exactly where I needed to. And for me, it was a very obvious reaction of it not working because I did not get pregnant, right? Now, this is like, I've tried them on 7th, 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm on like 12 months or whatever, 5 months of trying to get pregnant, okay? So P.S., it doesn't work for the first time every time. By the way, some of you it does. That's awesome. High five to you too. But for some people, it's been years and years and years, right? So here's what I do, you guys. I evaluate. And this is step number 5, okay? You evaluate the occurrence, you evaluate the situation, the scenario, you make some tweaks and some adjustments, and you do it again. That's what you do. So I go to my coach and I say, Coach, here's what's going on, AKA my OB, right? Coach, here's what's going on. We didn't get pregnant this time. I don't know if I was ovulating. I couldn't read the test. The test was so confusing. I don't even know if we had sex at the right time. And he's like, well, you're also 40 freaking years old. So there could be other problems and your cycle's so long. So let's make some adjustments and we'll try an ovulation test later. And maybe it was after this. We're going to start you on Clomid. I was like, oh my God, Clomid's going to make me crazy because it did with Jace. But then I was like, it's not going to make me crazy because I decide it's not. And guess what? It didn't. Or maybe I'm already too crazy to get crazier. Whatever. I did not get crazy this time. So I start on the Clomid. I do the things. I do the stuff. And then here we are, I'm following this new plan, right? So the new plan is I got my little like chart, and now I've got my different things that I'm mapping out, and which day. So like finally I'm using this, I like go, I spend the money, I invest. Oh, here's another one. I invest in my business, okay, on something, a higher level product, where before I was investing in these like little shitty ovulation tests, and I wasn't educated enough to know how to make that work. So finally I bought this guy, like the clear blue one, where like it actually tells you smiley face or not, because those lines were not making sense to me. Okay, I was getting feedback from my coach the last time. He's like, I think you're doing it right, but you know, do we know? So I'm like, this is the no-brainer. You use the tools, right? That are the ones that like you're trying to figure things out. Like find the tools, use the resources, invest in the money. Invest your money in the things you need, your resources. Okay, so I get this little guy and I'm like, okay, I measured out the things. Now I see that I have a longer cycle. It's 43 days, not 26 days, which means I can only get pregnant every 43 days, which is much longer than most people. Oh my God, that's only how many times a year? Okay, don't let your mind get all worried about things that aren't gonna work for you. Just do the things that will work in your life, right? So now as I've readjusted and evaluated, I have my coach, I started my tests. First day, nothing. I'm like, great, this is what I got last time, every single time. Nothing. Because the doctor's like, you might just not ovulate. And if you don't ovulate, we'll have to see what's gonna happen. So here we go. You guys, this is a long story, right? It's fine. You guys are learning stuff. I hope you're applying this to your own life, not just making a baby. Okay, so now that I've got my coach, I'm doing these things, I start to evaluate. The next day, I get this blinking happy face. I'm like, bah, 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 blinking happy face. Like that means that well, first of all, I'm not kidding you guys. I'm like, oh, blinking happy face. I grab Quincy. I run over to Grandma's house. I'm like, Grandma, take this. And she's like, why? What's going on? I'm like, I think I'm ovulating. And I run out of the room and she's like, oh my God. My daughter just gave me my kid so she could go have sex with a man in the house next door. Like not embarrassing, not weird, not awkward, none of that. So I come back, I'm like, John, this is what's happening. Let's go. By the way, you can't be stressed this entire time. You have to be having fun, right? And I guarantee you I'm having fun. It's a game. So I come back, I'm like, here we go. And then I like read the test later and I realize that doesn't mean you're ovulating at all. Like I just did all of that. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means your estrogen levels are higher, which means you're going to ovulate soon. And then I go through the little like thing where you get blinking happy face. Like every morning now, you guys, I wake up, I'm like blinking happy face, blinking happy face. So I'm like looking at my calendar and I'm like, oh good, awesome. Here's what's happening. We're both going on trips this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this was last weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're gonna be gone. You guys, when you're going after a goal, remember this is about tips for goals. Like this is not just about making a baby, but it is, but it's not, okay? So you have to educate yourself. You guys remember that. You have to gather your materials. You set your timeline, your actions. You got a coach, you're reevaluating, you're going after things, but there's gonna be challenges. Like there's gonna be stuff that's thrown at you while you're going after something where you're like, oh shit. Like that does not fit into my timeline. This does not, right? Oh, thank you, Catherine, because I'm a nut. Anna, she's like, I know what's about to come. You already know the end of this part of the story. Okay, so we've got this event we're going to. By we, I mean me and all my friends, not my husband. He's going somewhere else. He's going to Oklahoma. And I'm going here, and I leave Friday morning at 3. We wake up, and like, because we're trying every day, right? Do we wake, because I don't know when I'm going to ovulate. Do we wake up and do it at 3 a.m.? Like, that just sounds miserable, but you got to do what you got to do. And I was like, screw that. Like, that just sounds horrible. So we missed Friday. You guys are like, too much information. I don't care. Now it's Saturday, and I'm supposed to, according to my mentor, my guideline, my tools that I'm using, ovulate on Sunday, which means Saturday's really important, Sunday's really important, Monday's really important. And it just so happens that God is super funny. And what he does is he has John Carroll having a game in Oklahoma, and then he's driving down to Dallas, and I'm in Dallas. So I was like, okay, I know Dallas is pretty big, but I don't freaking care. Like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to make this happen. We're both in Dallas. I know we're both busy as all hell, but we're going to figure it out. So I MapQuest us, right? I'm like, hey, John, by the way, where's your hotel when you're in Dallas? So he figures out or he sends me the hotel, and then I MapQuest. I'm like, oh my God, like $20 Uber ride, which means I know it's close. Like, I didn't really look at the distance. I know it's close. I'm like, oh yeah, but we have that VIP party. Let me Uber. Let me see, what is the Uber from here? And I was like, okay, guess what? You're getting a surprise visitor on Saturday. And he's like, no way in hell are you coming to me and all my soccer team on a Saturday night. Long story long, because this is not a short story. We end up like, I'm in middle of this conversation at this party, right? And I'm having a conversation with like a mentor who is like somebody you don't want to just like walk away from, right? And she's telling a story and it's funny and it's great and it's amazing. And I get the phone call. John is literally in a minivan in front of this freaking very large house in this extremely nice party I'm at. And like, oh, I'm so sorry. I need to excuse myself. And I run away. I grab my coat, my shit, and I just boom, leave the party. Like everybody's there and they're at the party, right? I was with Anna, but yeah, right there. I'm like, bye. And she knew. So she made sure the situation was good, right? So I leave, I go meet John. I'm like, okay, we've got a car. He's like, no, that's ridiculous. We are grown adults. We go back, whatever. Okay, so we got it done. Here's the thing, take action, right? Even when it's freaking hard to take action, you take action when you have a goal you're going after. Right? So this happens. The next day I wake up, it's Sunday. This is the day where I'm supposed to get the happy face that's not blinking. That means you're actually ovulating. I'm like, oh yes, this is gonna be the day. We did it yesterday. We see each other today. We're amazing. We're doing this. And it's blinking happy face. I'm like, oh shit, seriously? Monday, blinking happy face. Tuesday, blinking happy face. And John's like, how long is this gonna go on? How long is this gonna be happening, right? I know, Casey, do not tell John that I told the world this story because he won't watch, he won't know. Don't tag him in it or anything, right? So he's like, oh, this is ridiculous. So finally, you guys, I wake up this morning and by the way, this is not a pregnancy test, so don't freak out. I get this guy. That is a solid happy face. Welcome to my world. I am ovulating. God, I'm so authentic. You guys, I really am super honest. That's what's going on in my life right now. So you're thinking, Cal, does that mean you're pregnant? Did you make a baby? No, that means I'm just taking the action that I need to take in order to make this happen. Okay. So all of that to be said is that when you're going after goals in your life, you have some different steps that you want to take. Okay. And I'm going to wrap this up at the end with a bow here. But I love all your guys' hearts and your laughters today. It is just super, I know. Woohoo! I'm so dumb. It's so ridiculous. Okay, number one, when you're going after something, when you're going from here to there, educate yourself about the process, right? Educate, what is that going to take? What is it going to take for me to make six-figure income? What is it going to take for me to improve my marriage? What is it going to take for me to have a better attitude? Do the research, educate yourself. Then start gathering the materials. What do you need to make that happen? Then find a coach, a mentor, somebody who's going to help you along the way. Then take action, even when you don't want to take action. Like, I mean, eventually action is really fun, like in my business right now. Okay, it's actually all my businesses, which is funny, but like, and my business. Okay, anyways, that's too much. And then you're gonna evaluate what's going on, and you're gonna fix some things, and you're gonna take action again, and you're gonna hit some roadblocks, and you're gonna hit some challenges, but if you have fun while you're going through it, and you make it work, you're going to do your best you can. That's all we can do. So here's the final piece of this. Okay, you guys are like, okay, jumping off, she's not pregnant, boring, right? Don't worry, you guys will know what's happening in my life at all moments now. But so at the end of this, you guys, you can only do your best. This is what you do. You do your best, right? Because here's the thing. I don't know what God has in store for me. I don't. But Quincy might be my last little baby, and that is perfect if that's what God wants for me in my life, okay? And I'm not stressed and I'm not freaking out about it. I know that we have a timeline of how long we'll keep trying. It's already been, like I said, this is 8 months now. So I am 40 years old. I don't know how much older that I want to be. So we're discussing all of those different things. But with all of that being said, you guys, I'm okay with however the situation turns out because we all have a different plan for us. So now I just get to do what I can do and do my best and be my best and give my best, and not just to the tips to making a baby, but to all of the world, right? I just get to show up my best and see how it influences and changes and creates action in the world. So, you guys, this video was perhaps the most ridiculous of all. Thank you guys for sticking with me the whole way through. Don't tell John Carroll we made the video. You guys, don't tell him. Just don't tell him, because then he's going to watch. And I don't think that's going to be good. That's right. I know, you other soccer moms out there, I'm looking at you. Okay, take this and apply it to your life, right? Apply it to your life. Think about a goal, somewhere where you're going from here to there in your world, and make that a part of who you are, right? John, do you want to say anything to the world? John just got home. Do you want to talk to him about setting goals? No, he says no. He says not right now. He thinks that I probably did a great job and completed it. If you are ready to commit, then commit to looking at one of the goals in your life, just one of them, and look at those different steps, the 4, the 5, the 6, I don't know what that ended up being, and see how you can maybe reevaluate and do some things a little bit different. And remember, don't give up when it's hard, okay? And have fun with it. You guys, that's it. Let me know if you're committed. Love your beautiful faces. Thank you for sticking that one out. Love all your hearts, your happy faces. Oh my God, bless all.